and I didn't know what would occur. I just knew the date. I'm following the Kabbalism. Well, on that day, I had a dozen people at my door standing there wondering how I knew. But now what was curious to me was that at least 4 of these people had their bills already folded up into the Twin Towers on 9/11, on the very day. It was posted on the internet that day, and if somebody just happened to figure this out and all of a sudden show it on the very day, I don't believe. I believe that this is being shown to us, letting us know. Now, the curious thing is that those bills were...
And they're letting you know, we're the ones that print the money, we're the ones that did it.
Exactly.
It's like when Special Forces would leave an ACE card in Vietnamese communists they killed.
Yeah.
It's a cue card. It's a marking their territory.
Now, if we're looking at it esoterically, if we're looking at it from a magician standpoint, they put these bills out in 1996. And that was when they made the first change. If you look at the bills prior to 96, they don't fold into the Twin Towers. I have pictures there, if we can show them, showing the 20s, where you can see that they don't fold into the Twin Towers prior to 96. And 1996 is the same year that Saddam Hussein is announcing he's Nebuchadnezzar reincarnated, rebuilding the Tower of Babel.
By the way, that was on the news. Again, Madonna admits she's doing rituals. They all do. He's announcing he's Nebuchadnezzar. Google that. Mainstream. I mean, again, they all believe this.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the headline of Y2K was Muslims stop the Freemasons from capping the Great Pyramid of Gold. I mean, stuff has all been in the news. Everything I said.
There's a big fight in Egypt. George Bush Sr. flies there, and then they say, no, we're not capping it with gold. They had huge movie screens with horned goblins dancing and fire shooting up out of the ground.
Yes. So what we're looking at now with this bill, and from 1996, not only did they rebuild Babylon with Nebuchadnezzar, they were also building the Nashville Bicentennial Mall that we talked about last time, which you can see pictures of on FreemanTV.com. These bills now, in an esoteric and a magical state, are already promoting to us the idea, the concept, because they believe that we have like a holographic mind and that we are able to incorporate this knowledge without actually seeing it. And so it's already been there since 1996 up to 2001. 5 years we've got it being imprinted into us through these bills. And then on the day, on 9/11, they allow us to see it. They put it out on their interweb. Now, what I found really interesting was that as they were promoting this, AOL, which of course their symbol's the eye in the pyramid, was putting out a poll, because every time you turn on AOL, it gives you a little questionnaire, and their poll was, would you take a national ID card? And so they were instilling this mind pattern, predictive programming into us. They constantly are doing so, and they do it in what they consider magical means, using exactly what the dollar bill is a talisman. It is simply a magical spell. This is the reason that the $1 bill has never changed, because it holds most of their archaic symbols. They don't want to change that. And so, but as we watch now, in their mind pattern programming, they're starting to make the bills less and less real.
And they admit that you're getting ready for a change. They admit that all these major mints are built as temples, and then you can even, as you said last week, you can even call up the mints and they'll admit it.
Yes, yes, absolutely. And you'll find them dated to the Anno Lucius calendar, which is the Masonic calendar, the Age of Light, straight back to Lucifer again. But this is a magic spell. That is what the dollar is. It's known as a pantacle, a talisman. It's a symbol of what? You know, of a magic spell. It's an enchantment. It has no real value. It's a piece of paper. Right. So they are using these symbols, signs, and seals to carry us forth, to bring us forward on their agenda, and we are lost in the enchantment. They're using Hollywood. They're using every method that they have at their disposal to bring us into this fascist dictatorship, this corporate reality that we're all begging for. They have us begging for it. And it was mainstream media when Pauline Pierce went to France with Aleister Crowley and had a sexual ritual.
And so, and then she is connected to Barbara.
Yes. Yeah. Pauline Pierce is Barbara Bush's mother.
That is a fact.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, and look, that's unbelievable.
You look at the picture, you know, and Barbara Bush looks very much like Aleister Crowley, and that would make George W. Bush the grandson of the beast. 666, and that's what Aleister Crowley called himself. I look at the picture, I look at the news, I see it. You know, it's up to you to decide.
But to be clear, they admit that Barbara Bush's mother did have a tryst with Aleister Crowley.
Absolutely, along with Marvin Pierce, who is the owner of McCall's and Red Book magazines. Well, she went off without him and returned pregnant. Yeah. So,
I mean, it's admitted that Bill Clinton is a Rockefeller, that his mother was a prostitute, and then that's come out. It's admitted that Rockefellers have secret breeding programs. They're obsessed with that.
exactly, and if we believe this, and we see this over and over again, then this isn't that far outside of the realms of possibility, and we can actually track this bloodline from the blowing up of King James at Parliament, or the attempt to, all the way up to the presidents and up to George W. Bush today. This is crazy. Okay, have one more. Let me throw you one more. Anna Nicole Smith, okay? She was a seeming high-profile ritual goddess for the Brotherhood, much like Marilyn Monroe, James Mansfield, that they were used in these high-profile rituals.
Now, it was Mansfield who really was in...
She was in the Church of Satan.
Yeah, I mean, that's admitted. That's admitted. Yeah.
Absolutely, and George W. Bush is admittedly a descendant of Marilyn Monroe. It was in Us Weekly magazine. I don't know.
And then Barack Obama is related to Cheney and Bush.
Exactly. You see, we're looking at a huge globalist, cabalist family. What we find is now Anna Nicole was being passed around in these different rituals and having sex with many, many people, one of which was Prince Frederick von Anhalt. And Prince Frederick von Anhalt was the one who stood before the whole public, it's in my video, and said, no, that child is mine. Do the dates, do the timing. She was having sex with me on a night that no one seems to remember. Now, if we look into Prince Frederick von Anhalt's lineage, we find that he is quite possibly a genetic experiment to artificially inseminate Gretel Braun into with Hitler's semen. Now, we know that Clauberg was the father of artificial insemination, Karl Clauberg, and that they had kept Hitler's semen. So it's possible, right? But now Prince Frederick von Anhalt's being a Hitler, being a Rothschild, would make Anna Nicole's baby a Rothschild, right? If he truly was the father as he says he is.
Well, it goes back to the Greeks, though, that the prostitutes were at the temple. You'd go have sex with them there. That's where this is all crazy. I know a lot of it can be documented, some of it can't. It's just so bizarre, ladies and gentlemen. We're getting into some of the really esoteric things here with our guests. We're going to skip this break for Infowars.com listeners.
Jim Newcomer from...
Well, let me just
okay, yeah, we're going to cut
that thought, because what we find now is the claimants for Anna Nicole's babies, of course, are Howard K. Stern and Burkhead, Larry Burkhead. But, of course, out of the blue comes Prince Frederick von Anhalt, who is the husband of Zsa Zsa Gabor, who is another rumored mind control slave for the media. And he honestly keeps her locked up in his mansion with a padlock. Zsa Zsa Gabor is not allowed out. Okay, so now we've got this guy connected with a former mind control slave, and now with a new mind control slave. Now, what is curious is when Anna Nicole died, well, before her death, I'm sorry, she was given over to Howard Marshall, who was a Nazi oil baron, had $1 billion in the bank, and he was married off. This is the old man that Anna Nicole was married to, 93 years old, I think he was when he married her. She was like 26, and he dies the very next year. But what this does is put his money into her lineage, right? But the will was left kind of open in the air, and even all of the lawyers I saw in the news trying to analyze it couldn't figure out who got the money. Who gets this oil tycoon, this Nazi oil tycoon's money? Well, it comes down to Daniel Lynn Smith, who is the daughter of Anna Nicole. She gets...
And then notice how the son mysteriously died.
Right. The son dies 3 days after the daughter's death. And you'll find that they're into the Trinity, the threes. And so 3 days after the daughter's birth, Daniel Lynn's birth, the son, Daniel Smith, drops dead in the hospital in front of the baby. Then 3 months later, after the birth of the daughter, Anna Nicole drops dead in front of the baby in Hollywood, Florida, that is. Now, we're looking at this ritually, this all makes sense. But what we find is that this daughter, this Daniel Lynn Smith, the daughter of Prince Frederick von Anhalt, is a direct descendant of the Rothschild bloodline through Hitler.
And you've got these corrupt oil barons.
And now has $1 billion from a Nazi oil baron, yes. What can you say? I mean, I have this database. The outline.
No, I've looked up a lot of this and found out a lot of what you're. Because I'm not saying you're lying or wrong about the rest. I just haven't looked into all of it. But it is a fact, and I've seen the documentation before. Maybe we can go over that a little bit more. That Barbara Bush's mother did. That is where for us to document. Did run off for a time with Aleister Crowley and come back around that time pregnant.
Absolutely. I have the news source linked onto the FreemanTV.com in the article on Anna Nicole, Brittany, and mind control. You can absolutely go and check it for yourself.